Do you know what episode this is, Rob? Because I know what episode this is, but do you want to do the intro?
I believe it's episode 22.
It is episode 22, and we are calling it. Well, I'm
Nice.
I'm Pantyhose King. With me is my co-host,
The Rob speaking himself.
and with us, welcome back to the show for I think this is your second appearance, the one and only Soni Panda.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I think it is my second, I mean, I always have such a blast here, to be honest. I'm always happy to come on and speak to you guys. So yeah, yeah.
And
I can't believe it's only the second.
Huh? I believe. Well, it's only the second, but
Yeah.
you interviewed me twice, then you interviewed Rob. So for you, it seems like six, probably.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. It seems a lot more than what it is.
She's like, yeah, that's six. Okay, so just for patrons, if you guys want to become patrons and see the video, I am wearing Soni Panda's very own the changing. I'm sorry, is it the change? No, sorry, it is the ultra sheer polka dots. Is that the thing?
We'll go. It's the nude Parisian seamless tights.
Okay, because I didn't want to try to pronounce that. I'm like, I'm wearing.
Yes.
But they are super comfortable. Oh my god!
I know I was wearing mine earlier today, and I'm like, oh yeah, these feel good. These feel good.
They're really comfortable. I don't know how that, like, and the waistband is really nice too. It's like it just goes and doesn't, like, like there used to be this. Okay, I think I can say this about the brand because I don't think they're really in business anymore. But there was like a Warner's brand that was a Walmart pantyhose. Rob, do you remember that? Like,
yeah, it was. Well, there was a Warner's brand, and then there was also the George brand.
George?
Yes, there was a George brand.
I don't know what's George.
And you know what? I'm still to this day trying to figure that one out. But I used to find the tights that they were a George brand, and
What?
they had like a color line.
Is it George a store?
I had no clue. I tried looking them up online. I couldn't find them.
Like,
I thought it's part of Asda.
I mean, is it like famous? Because I've never heard George Pantyhose. That's a terrible name. George Pantyhose.
It's a horrible name, but they made more than just hosiery. They made like other different things. So it was more like of an intimates line. But like I said, when it came to the hosiery, on the other hand, it was that George brand.
Okay. Oh, wait. No, but it's not spelled like George, like George, right? Is it?
Yes.
Like, it is? Hey,
yes.
Soni, I think you should change your name to Bert's Pantyhose, or like how about that works better? Or Chuck's Pantyhose and things. Can you imagine? That'd be like,
oh wow.
So a little bit of stuff that we have to discuss today. I wanted to, and I'm debating on whether I should do this because I don't want to like make it like too hardcore, but I stumbled across a video of a fella who claims that they were trans and then now they're not, and blamed like the entire downfall of their life on pantyhose. And I watched the video and I laughed really hard. And then after it was over, I saved a screenshot and I'm going to share it with you guys because I want you to see this photo of this person who, now, mind you, I fully support trans people, but I think when you call yourself a trans person, you have to go and, you're going to have to actually do it. This guy just like put on a skirt and pantyhose and he, that's what he did. And then he's like, pantyhose ruined my life. And then he just doesn't really go into why. But I am going to, I wanted to show this picture just because and I wanted to ask you guys, because we don't really talk about the trans community too often. And I want to know, like, do you guys actually have interactions with people who are trans that are talk to you about pantyhose, especially you, Soni, because I'm sure you do. And like, what are some examples of like your interactions with them? Because this guy's trying to basically, I mean, I'm going to call it out. This guy he's a heterosexual guy that has a fetish for pantyhose. He gets off as seeing himself as a woman in a mirror, and then he's calling himself trans. And now he's saying he's reverse trans and that, religion saved him and yada, yada. And it's, total bull. But I wanted to know, like, Soni, like, what have been some of your interactions with the trans community, and maybe give them a little voice, because I feel like they deserve it a little.
Yeah, no. I'd be more than happy to. So I have spoken to quite a few trans people, and I've actually had Tempest come on Friday as well.
Oh, that's right. When you're sharing your journeys just came out.
Yeah. And so I thought it would be really good to have her on, because obviously it was kind of in the works for a while, but I've I noticed I definitely wanted to get somebody who is trans or from the trans community on, just because I do have quite a lot of trans watchers, in a sense. But yeah, in terms of speaking to a lot of trans people, one, they're beautiful people, and a lot of their journeys tend to be quite similar, but naturally, obviously, they'll have their own kind of little niches to them. But
Mhm.
one thing I will say, it's something you don't do lightly.
Mhm.
Being one thing I've noticed is, especially when it comes to trans, there's so many things I'm still learning about it as well. And so I love having these conversations, because as soon as I think I kind of know it all, I don't. Actually,
Yeah.
there's like another curveball that comes in. Like, prime example is, I heard about you needed to do there's like a facial kind of reconstruction you can do to make yourself look more feminine if you're going
Yeah.
from male to female. There's you kind of like, oh god, I can't remember the term now, but it's like you change your voice so it becomes more higher pitched, more ladylike in a sense, so it isn't so deep
Yeah.
and manly. And there's so many different things like that, and I thought, I've never thought about that. But one thing I will definitely say, speaking to everybody, the kind of ground thing of it is, it's not to be taken lightly. It's something that is very serious, and it is, and it's hearing that. I mean, obviously, I don't know the whole thing
Well,
about this
I'm
person,
going to share the
but
screen with you guys. So I took a screenshot of this because I just loved it. I think that
wow,
says it all. They said, look at me. I mean, look at me. I feel great. I feel great who I am. And I would say the video is called Pantyhose Destroyed My Life. You guys can see this, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I can see it.
Pantyhose
Yeah.
destroyed my life, but redeemed and set free by Jesus. Former crossdresser. He changed that, because when I first saw this video the other night, it said former
yeah.
trans, and I bet people came at him and was like,
Oh
I
yeah.
can
Oh yeah.
imagine.
I can
and
imagine that.
I just I don't know. Maybe you guys could. Do you think that this person who's saying that, does that look like somebody who feels great? Like, I don't know if that's, to me, that looks like somebody who is maybe suffering from diarrhea, would be my guess, or that, I don't know if they feel great.
Look like a bad stomach ache, honestly.
Yeah, he's like, look at me, I feel great, I'm happy. And so I want to actually, I'm kind of tempted to have this guy on, because I want to just sort of ask him about how great he feels. But this is the kind of stuff that the community has to deal with every day. Like, there's like people who like, I don't know why. I mean, why did he come after pantyhose? It's anybody's guess. Like, his whole meaning was, I started with pantyhose, and therefore pantyhose ruined my life. And I'm like, well,
Maybe he gave that as part of the quote unquote fall guy.
right. Well, he's like, and and I have children, and if you have this in your life, you can't have children. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Rob has kids. Like,
Wow.
yeah. And it's just, I figured there's a little shout out to the trans community from I mean, I know that we talk a lot about just the male stuff, but I mean, thinking about y'all, and thought people like this who are using it for clickbait, who are saying, like, and I am happy to see that former crossdresser. I'm like, you liar. Okay, that was my little
I'll look at it this way. I mean, if you're going to go full bore, go full bore. If you decide you don't want to do it, then that's their prerogative. But I look at it this way. If you're going to sit there and try to pull something, I hate to say it, pull something out your ass,
Why
and
not?
try to make something of the fall guy. I'm sorry that I can't agree with that. That's clickbait right there.
Yeah, and it's damaging too, because so many people have still. I mean, the majority of people. Wow, Soni, by the way, you look radiant today. Like, seriously, are you? What are you? Are you like? Well, okay. Are you like getting some sort of like fetuses or something sent in? Something beautiful like that? Because have you heard the thing about Hollywood? Like, the big thing apparently is that they have like foreskins of babies that they mash it up into.
I heard that. I'd sit there. I got to thinking. I was like,
my god,
yuck!
It's like a face.
Like, yuck!
It's
Yuck!
got stem cells.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Isn't
I
that
feel
great?
like that.
Sorry, a little sidebar there, but seriously, you look radiant. I mean,
Thanks.
what is new with you? Are you like, what's going on? Are things bumping?
Well, hold on. We ought to congratulate her, because she was just had an article that came out about her. I think it was an Indian Entrepreneur magazine.
Yes. Yes.
When did that happen?
I haven't promoted it much on my brand page. I really should have. But I had
me.
so much going on with like the launch, and then I literally had so much. I kind of like just, but I will be putting something on this week. But yeah, no, I managed to get featured on there. And it was, it was really nice, actually. It was something, it was a whole different experience I've never kind of had before, but it was really nice. It was just kind of just speaking about kind of my journey, how the brand kind of came about, what the business is and hiccups that I've had and where it's kind of wanting to go. And honestly, it was so nice. It was probably the most nicest thing I've ever done this year. So
congratulations. I was sitting there. I thought I had like a scoop being like, she did all the squats she could have done to get the fundraiser thing done, taken care of. And then that like, wow, congrats.
Yeah. And congrats on hitting your goal, by the way.
Yeah, that even happens. This is what I mean. Everything's popping off, in June, July, honestly. But yeah, no, we've hit the target today, so I'm super, super happy. I wanted to set it low because I was like, oh, I don't know how it's going to go.
A lot of squats. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you get the DOMs the first day? Where you're like, the first day you were like, did you kind of, did you have to like sort of like waddle to the, like the first day?
I actually felt that term
delayed onset
like you got to stick up your ass. Honestly, it was so, I was so stiff. I've never walked so straight in my life. You're like, oh my God.
And going to the bathroom is like, you're like, oh no. Sitting down on the toilet,
another spot.
Like, oh
yeah. This is where I was like, oh my God, guys have it so easy at this point.
Well, that is true, but I'll tell you this much: we still got to go number 2. And so, like, you got to sit down on the toilet a couple times a day if you're, regular. True. Hopefully it's a couple times a day, and once at least, fellas. And if you're not going once a day, you got to go check that out because you're stopped up. And then if you stop up, what happens is you end up looking like that dude that we just saw who was blaming all of his downfall on Pantyhose. Which,
that's so bad.
I mean, it's so bad. That is bad. That is really bad.
Was it bad that I made fun of him? That I find his pain funny? I can't help it. What can I say? I'm not a good person. I'm just me. And besides, he's an asshole. But I digress. Soni, so you are like, and so how's the brand going? I mean, like last time we talked, you were like, it was popping off as well. But like, things are going great. Yeah. You got the new podcast going on. You got the the stuff. I mean, I can't keep up with you. When did this article get released, Rob? I feel like
not that long ago about me. What was it? Within the last couple of weeks, Sonny?
Literally, I think it was end of June. I think that's what it was. It was end of June, but because I had my new launch, I was like, I'm putting too much out there as it is. And I thought if I put an article in, it's probably just going to get lost. So I will be promoting it this week anyway, because I need to. But I'm sure it's the last week of June.
Wow.
I will send you a link. Don't worry.
I feel like such a schmuck. And I feel like a schmuck.
Don't worry about feeling like a schmuck. No. Look, I have a hard time keeping up with what she's doing either. I mean, between everything I do and everything she's doing, I mean, good gosh. I mean, I was just trying to make sure I had enough material for this interview.
Oh man. So you got a new, tell us about the launch, Soni. Tell us about the launch.
So it's something a little bit different. A little bit different, I say. So obviously I've released I've released deep lace hold up. So it's something that I loved, and I was like, oh my God, I need to find a good pair that will kind of just work. And obviously, me being me, I test everything. I got to go through a whole rigorous process before I put anything out there. But yeah, so the newest one obviously is the deep lace hold ups, and then I'm taking a break for July, and then I've got more products coming.
You got more?
Month by month. I've got more. Honestly, it's such a busy year. I've got so much popping off.
How do you have the time to do everything you do?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I just do it. I'm one of those people, right? I was having this conversation, I think, with Paul, soul anarchist. I can never say soul anarchist properly. Yeah. And I was just saying, like, I'm one of those people, I'm a go-getter. I can't just sit and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm at ease, and let's just dot a lot. Like, I have to just keep going. If it's like, okay, bam, one thing, right, let's go get the next, right, bam.
Have you been like that ever since you were a baby? Have you been like that ever, like your whole life? where you just were like,
No.
no, really? So this isn't, so you developed this go-getter attitude. When would you say, like, what, high school or?
No, I'd probably say university onwards. After like kind of end of uni onwards, I
What do you
kind of
think?
became.
What do you think made that shift? Because like I'm a lazy fuck, and I wish I had that kind of like drive, but unfortunately, no, I don't. So I'm kind of curious what caused that to happen at the end of college. You suddenly got the drive to just like become like the world's like cutest steamroller, I guess would be sort of a thing like that. Yeah, I mean like
The steamroller everybody else and just say, "Hey, here I am."
right. I mean,
Yeah,
what do you think changed that?
I think my whole thing was, I think I lived a lot. So uni was obviously a very experimental moment in my life. I went
Oh
through so
yeah.
many different things. So like honestly, I kind of went off the rails a little bit, if I'm honest. But I think going back to, I think my biggest motto, and I live by it today, is sort of, it's kind of morbid, but it's you can die at any point in your life. And I think my biggest thing is I wanted to be able to at least say I can go knowing I've done the best I could. I'm going to go
Uh-huh.
knowing the fact that I've done as much as I can and I'm happy in life. I don't want to regret anything. And I can look back and say I've always done my hardest and I've always grafted and I'm happy. So I think, yeah, I think that's my biggest thing, is just sort of, don't get me wrong, I like to have those lazy days, but even when I do, when I'm sitting on the sofa watching Netflix or something, it is like I
And you're
could be
doing
doing some
100
shit.
squats for charity a day. Like
Yeah.
it's like that's the most
But
like that is so not lazy. Like
well, I had to get in shape somehow, so I thought let's start with squats.
she's like, I need to get in
I
shape.
might,
So
I might have to start following her exercise regimen if I'm going to start getting rid of this tummy.
I mean, she's like, she's like, I want to work out, but how can I also raise money for cancer? And so
Yeah.
like that just makes, I'm like, well, crap, but I need to raise money for cancer if I squat, or otherwise I mean, it's just impressive is what I'm saying. Like it's
Oh
really
no,
Oh,
thank
cool.
you.
absolutely. I admire. I mean, just the amount, like I said, the amount of different things that you're doing. I mean, I know I get tired just from everything I do, and I'm just like PK here. I could be just as lazy as the
You're
next
not
guy over
lazy,
here.
Rob. You have like the whole full-time career and then you do the cookie thing.
Mm,
I'm the
I
laziest
have a
fuck in this
cookie.
room, okay?
No, I
Yeah.
stay busy. Like my wife just said, I stay busy with the honeydew list. She sees me on on the sofa. You need to get up and do this.
Well,
Bless.
I'm the laziest though. Nobody can take that from me. I want to hear you both say it. Say, King, you're the laziest, and then I'll be like, you're right. Because
Oh,
I
I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't think that you are though. It's not like you
no.
would just sit all day doing nothing, because that's like lazy. That's my definition of lazy. Is just
Yes.
you could be doing something but you're not, and you're just there 24/7 not doing anything.
Oh
So
yeah, see, now that's not true. Technically, I do things if I'm sitting, but God, Dave sitting around and just doing nothing, I'd go crazy. I'd be like, I have to
yeah,
read or something.
yeah,
Mm.
I
That
couldn't sit
movie,
there and do that.
I better have a whole bunch of movies lined up if I'm going to be sitting all day, or a bunch of TV shows that I got to catch up on if I'm going to sit
Right,
all day.
right. Oh man. So okay, for those of us who don't know, like explain deep lace to me because I don't understand. Like,
Sure.
what is deep lace? You because you talked about the new stuff having deep lace. Is that like what is that? Is that deep purple?
So, oh, now I wish I've got a pair to show you because they're all upstairs. So basically, the deep lace hold-ups is, so you can imagine a normal hold-ups band, call it about, it's normally about that thick, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Deep lace is double, if not kind of triple that size. So you're working with something that it covers majority of your thigh, and then it
Uh,
Oh,
becomes it honestly, they're just so beautiful. I remember the first time I tried a pair, I fell in love. Um, and the beauty about them is as well is depending on your kind of style and what you're obviously comfortable with. Deep lace is one where, you know, for instance, when you have a normal hold-ups band, you kind of you don't really show that. You kind of just sort of tuck it underneath your clothing, like I said, depending on like how you're styling it.
mm-hmm.
Whereas deep lace, you've got the option to, for instance, wear a really lovely mini skirt, but have some of the hold-ups band showing, and it'll only be half of it in a way. So it's kind of, it's adding that little bit extra, like extra sexiness, but still not showing a lot of it. So for instance, if you see a hold-ups band, you think, oh, okay, bloody hell, she's a, you know, a little bit provocative there or whatever. But actually with the deep hold-ups kind of lace band, it's so much bigger. But it's just so beautiful. They're just so lovely. There's something about them. It's like hold-ups is like, yeah, cool, like your everyday. And yeah, I would class that as kind of like my everyday. But the deep lace is like an extra special. It's like a little bit of extra spice on things. It's really nice.
So
It is
it's
really
like
nice.
it adds a little sexiness to the situation. You feel sexier wearing them. Now, I don't know, Rob, do you, I don't know, do you ever wear thigh highs? I mean, I don't know if, I don't think I've known you to ever wear
No.
them. Like, no, I don't think so. I've worn them, you know, for obviously for like funsies, but like they actually are pretty nice, like on days where you don't want to like do a mad dash, like in the pantyhose, like you can put them on, like they're real like quick fix.
Right.
But I really, the one problem for me is because I have thighs that are about like this, the circumference of the moon. Thigh highs they're tricky because like they're just like we can't compete with that, and then they just go like they like sort of like those crappy shitty shades that you see in like the old 1950s detective movies where you like pull the thing down and the shades go and they just like fly back up. Like that's sort of what happens to me with like say a thigh high that's not really built for it. So it sounds like this deep lace is probably better suited too for people who are like have meatier thighs, right?
Yeah, and that too. It is something, because I think the thing is, I don't know a lot of like bigger built people who do wear them, because naturally they're very sort of skeptical about doing hold ups, just because it's like how you say, especially when you have got thicker thighs, it's trying to find the right one. So it's not just when you have got them on, you've got like a whole load of like meat that's sitting on top, and it's like it doesn't look attractive.
Yeah, or you can't
no,
get them past like your knee. Or I'm like,
yeah. And you're like, oh great, we'll just wear them as socks, shall we?
I'm like, that's exactly it. I'm like, knee highs, I guess.
Yeah, but no, they are something really special, to be honest. It is just, yeah, it's like, I think that's probably the best way to put it. It's just adding a little spice, but still in a way where it is you still can appreciate and wear them on a daily basis, and it doesn't have to be like for sexy time or anything like that. It is just, you can just appreciate them like all year round.
I'm gonna dare you, Rob, right here now. I think that you should wear some on a show one day. I think you should do it as a service to the fans. People may want to see that. I think you should. What do you think, Soni?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes, what do you think, Sonny? What do you think, Sonny? Come on.
Yeah,
hey, she's into it too. So now it's settled. Because I mean, I've worn them before, but I think the thrill would be to see Rob in it. How much fun would that be with a kilt? Come on.
Well, you know, actually, I've thought about that, but I thought of doing it in layers, kind of with a CDR layer.
Well, yeah, like you do. You mean like a base layer pantyhose and then put them over it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course.
Yeah. So, nice. or even the other way around. I mean, I could see doing that. But yeah, I've thought about it. Never really pulled the trigger on that, so to say.
No, you're going to be consider yourself triggered.
Triggered. And by the way, Sonny, I have to apologize. I'm kicking myself because I did not bring my Starry Nights that I have from your brand, because I'm on holiday here in Ocean City. So
nice.
So say holiday.
I'll let you off.
Say holiday.
Holiday.
I love the way British people say it. Say it again.
Holiday. Why? How do you guys say? How do you guys say it?
Well,
I'm on vacation.
We say vacation, but when we say it, it's like holiday, like it's like, and you guys say holiday. It's like,
yeah.
The way we say it just falls flat, and it just falls flat like a stone when we say it. That's all it is. It's
like we can't say bollocks, because if you say it with an English accent, you go, oh bollocks.
Oh yeah, bollocks. Yeah.
And people will look at you like you're a dumbass or something.
You can't say core. You just say core. It doesn't work in an English accent, right? Or American accent.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get you.
Core blimey.
Yeah, it just falls flat and like a stone. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, and
stone. It's so funny to hear.
Isn't that what stone is? How much you guys weigh yourselves in over there, right? You guys weigh stones and bodies, 42 stones or something like that. I don't know. I thought I heard people say they
No,
still
no,
do
no.
that.
We can do stone. Yeah, we do stones and kg. We don't really do pounds that often.
Which is
I very rarely
interesting
do
because you do
pounds.
pounds in money, but not pounds in weight.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
stupid, isn't it?
I know. They're like, so how many stones am I if I want to try on these pantyhose? I'm like, I am. Like you have to go to the thing. Okay, so I love this. Did you write the tips for tights on the inside of your packaging?
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you like the new packaging? Oh, I was
I
like so
do.
proud of it when it came.
So Rob, if you can, I don't know if you have seen this, but it's got like it tells people to hand wash, which not people know to do that. Do not tumble
I do
dry.
it.
Oh, I learned that lesson. Oh, I learned that lesson early. Man, do not iron. Ooh, that's yeah. People don't.
Some people, you'd be surprised.
I
Are you
really
kidding me?
iron
Some
it.
people actually do that. They actually
Because they're
iron
like,
them.
oh, well, I've washed it and it's like really wrinkly. I was like, yeah, but it's fine. Once you get them on, it's not like if you're wearing a shirt or some trousers or something, like you need to iron them. I was like, they'll just naturally just be okay. You won't see any wrinkling. And they're like, no, but you need to iron it. And I'm like, well, you're just going to ruin your tights. What are you doing?
It wouldn't
Yeah,
melt like when you do that. Like they're just gonna like sort of melt, right? Like
literally. I even tested it out
Yeah.
once myself, thinking like, can you actually iron these? Like, am I being stupid?
oh
You
no,
best believe, like, the whole material stuck to my iron. That it
yeah.
literally just went, and I'm like, oh, well, there we go. I've just botched up my iron.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like you not only ruin
Yeah.
the tights, but the iron's
Wow.
gonna be done too because it's gonna smell like
Yeah.
burnt like
Yep.
material. Ooh,
Yeah.
yikes. Yeah, don't iron your
Ooh.
tights, people. But this
Yeah.
is really great, Rob.
Please don't.
It's got a whole tips for tights like thing. It says like for instance, like whilst getting ready. See, that's why I love her,
Of
like
course.
British. That's whilst getting ready. Whilst it's not good. People don't use it enough. Wearing a pair of slippers or socks while getting ready to helps any snags or rips from forming. Avoid walking around on stone or wooden floors as cracks and splinters can damage the soles. Now, how about that? Huh?
Oh yeah.
I did not
I'm,
really
I'm what
actually consider that.
I'd say, and it's great that you got the tips in there. But what I'm more fascinated, I'm just fascinated with the packaging itself.
Oh yeah, it's like it folds in on itself, right?
Yeah.
Oh
This is how
yeah.
it comes.
Yeah.
This thing right here is this wasn't supposed to be on it. This was from me. It's not. It didn't come like that. But you got the lovely Sony design, right? And then it comes with
Yeah.
like the like nice sticker that comes off, and then it opens up like this.
Yeah. So you see, I didn't have the privilege of having the package because actually the ones I have were gifted to me by our soon future
Yes.
interviewees here soon.
Oh,
You
nice.
know who I'm talking
Nice.
about. You know who I'm talking. You know
Yes.
who
I can't
I'm talking.
wait.
Why are we doing this like it's a secret? What future interviews are we talking about? Because there's people
Or
Mr.
maybe
and
you
Mrs.
can't say.
we
Mr. and
can't
Mrs. Tweets in
say.
Tennessee. Come on.
Sony, this is our show. We can say it, but I just want to know who we're
Oh, okay.
saying because we got people lined up, and it seems like the two of you know who's going to be on the show. I'm like, who is
Yeah.
this going to be? Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
remember because they told me when they were ordering that, oh, we really want to get a pair for Rob. And I was like, oh my God, yes, okay. Like, so that's how
Oh,
I know.
well, thanks for keeping me in the loop. I knew, by the way, audience, I actually knew that these people were coming. I knew that Mr. and Mrs. Tights were coming, Tights from Tennessee were coming on, but I didn't know that it was going to be there. I feel so unpopular right now. I feel like,
Oh, it's okay.
oh God,
You're still a
you
cool kid.
guys.
It's okay.
Well, you
Yes,
know
you're a
what?
cool kid. Don't worry.
I know people who are coming on the show too. Just so you know, and I know them, but I'm not going to tell you. I just know they are.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. This one I actually did not realize.
Don't worry. Just totally keep me in the dark. That's all.
No, I don't. I would never do that, unlike others.
No.
Okay, so this one I actually didn't realize, and I've been doing this up until now. Don't squeeze water out by hand. It's apparently
Really?
that. Yeah, it says after washing, either put the hosiery in a towel and squeeze, or just let them drip dry. Don't pop them in the tumble dryer as you're asking for trouble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You would melt. You would melt it immediately. So yeah, that's an absolute no. But still,
You gotta do a video where you read these like out loud, Sony. Like
Yeah, do you know, I am trying to work on something. It's just not happened recently. But I did want to do like a little tips video and kind of like just acted out in a sense, so people kind of know, because you'll be very surprised. It's not common to some people. So when you do say it, they're like, oh, I need to see. And when they see it, they're like, oh, and I'm like, really? But
Do you need, I will volunteer myself and Rob. I will literally volunteer. If you need us to do a segment, we'll do a segment.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
that'd be
absolutely,
so
yes.
much fun.
Like
That'd
I
be
will
so
wring,
much
I'll
fun.
wring the shit out of some pantyhose. I'll do like not
And they'd be
yours,
like,
Rob.
no,
Mm-hmm. And I think, Rob, could you do okay this? So I should get, I might as well just read all of them. You don't mind me reading them because it's not like, like this is just great. Try to hand wash your hosiery. If you want your hosiery to last longer, wash them in cold/lukewarm water. If that isn't an option, use a laundry bag to protect them in the washing machine. This helps limit the damage caused. That bag thing is super true. Like,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And when I tumble dry them, like in my earlier days, what happens is you tumble dry them with, whatever, and then they get wound up like a very tight, like,
They get knotted real bad.
and that's not good when it's like spun up in like a comforter and you're like, oh,
yeah.
fight with it to get it out. Shorten and smooth those toenails.
Yes.
Don't let your toenails damage your hosiery. Keep them short and smooth too, especially if that hosiery has no reinforcement.
And to back that up, I was just having this conversation last night with my wife about keeping my toenails and fingernails. I used to bite my nails really bad, and because of hosiery, I've actually stopped doing that. And I mean, I'm like obsessed with keeping them short and filed up all the time, just to prevent snags and everything else.
You only recently stop biting, or when did you?
No, this is like going back when when I first started.
Okay.
So in a way, you'd say pantyhose made your life better.
Oh, much better.
Exactly.
And it didn't ruin it? It didn't ruin your life?
No, did not ruin my life at all.
What about you, Soni? Has pantyhose made your life better?
We're going to prove that guy wrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course it has. I mean, it's always fun.
It should, but they're pantyhose. They're known for ruining lives. It's if you let a pantyhose in your house,
wow,
they're gonna take up your guest room, and then before you know it, they're having babies, and you're supporting a household full of pantyhose, and that that can't be. That is not good. We got, and the final one would be watch those fingernails, right, Rob? If you have sharp nails, wearing hosiery gloves is advised. Do you wear hosiery gloves every time you put them on, Soni? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I always have long nails, so
I'm not that good with that. I must confess, and I pay the price for it, but it's hard to find them. They tend to be like one size wherever you get them. And like they're harder to find when I think.
Or you need a pair of mine. It's cool.
Yeah,
I can hook you up.
Yeah, because you actually make sizes that are like the sizes of humans.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, I'm just saying, like, people come in different shapes and sizes, and I love that everybody like from certain parts of the world, they're like, well, nobody gets taller than 5'6". I'm like,
oh yeah.
Like, I'm like, sure, that's fine. If your hands are super dry or cracked, apply some cream before you get ready. Sheer tights are especially vulnerable. Now, I not only do I appreciate this, but the impeccable grammar, and it's amazing. And you guys, you can recycle this if you want to. It's recycling, and it's very pretty too. I mean,
oh, thank you.
And I love the font you chose, the Soni Panda font. Like, it's just it
was a fun one.
Yeah, how long did it take you to find that font? I bet it was. Is it hard to choose that? Because I bet you.
A while, because you literally have to go through. I remember trying to design it because everyone's always come at me with everything like, why is it like this? Why is it like this? Why have you not got a picture? And I'm like, look, because the way I kind of ended up designing the brand and the packaging, I didn't realize that it would come across quite genderless anyway, because I love the whole black and white and black and gold. Like, I love black. Like, it's one of my favorite colors. And when I did it, I was like, I just want it super like clean, super simple, just super easy. I don't want, because obviously naturally I've looked at thousands of different packaging, and when you look at it, some of it is beautiful, and some of it's very like, I don't know where my eyes need to go, like what the hell's going on. And so just as a starter, I just wanted something really nice and crisp and clean and kind of fun, and kind of there's a bit of me in it. And I think that's where the Love from Soni Panda title with that font came in, because I was like, I like this. It's something a little bit different. But yeah, it's still illegible in a sense. But
It's
yeah,
not legible.
But it shows off the playfulness, honestly. I mean, just the whole. I mean, you
yeah,
really kind of get that whole playful, but also it's very inclusive with everybody, and like you said,
yeah.
I
and that's what I like about it.
I assumed at the very beginning I was a little dopey, but I assumed that that was your actual handwriting. Like I kind of thought for a
Oh, I
minute.
wish.
I mean, I thought, because I don't. You just like people who have. You notice that, Rob? Like people who have like they have their shit together. Like they always have great handwriting. It's just a thing
Mm,
I've noticed, and I figured she just like that
mm.
was how she learned calligraphy, and that's how she wrote. But
Oh,
uh
you're too kind.
no, but I mean, do you? I bet you have good handwriting, right? Do they teach cursive in the United Kingdom? They don't teach cursive here anymore
How
in
do
the
you
United
mean?
States. Like cursive writing. Like they don't
As
teach.
as in like calligraphy?
Yeah, they used to.
Oh,
They don't anymore.
no, I mean, I learned it when I was a kid in school and stuff, because they would actually make you do it with like a fountain pen and proper like, but it's something that if you want to go learn it, you need to go and seek it out yourself, to be like, there's obviously people still out there who do teach it. But it is, you need to go and seek it. It's not something that people actually do that often anymore.
Oh wow. See, Rob, I feel so
Yeah.
like that's as like an English master's. I'm like, oh, that makes me so sad. Like I grew
Mm.
people can't sign their names anymore because they don't know how to do cursive.
Oh yeah, I mean when my kids came up to us and we actually asked them, it's like, are your teachers, teaching you how to do your name in cursive or how to write in cursive? They're like, no, they're not teaching us at all. And so we literally sat down and we taught them how to do it, how to read it and everything. And I mean, it took a while, but they picked it up quick
Oh
and
wow.
ran with it. But yeah, the schools here are not teaching it anymore whatsoever.
No, it's just like
That's
as
sad.
long as you know how to like to pick up that like digital
It
pen and write
has
like
like
X.
things that should learn,
Right.
and they'll
What was
teach
that?
them.
Yeah, there are some teachers. Yeah, my wife was just correcting me. She said there are some teachers that will teach it because they believe it should be taught, but then there's
Mm.
a vast majority out there that are just not teaching it anymore.
They'll teach it for free then, I bet, because
Yeah,
man, teachers,
It's very
God, teachers don't get
digital
paid
world.
enough.
yeah, because
They don't.
it's an increasingly digital world. That's why, and you don't.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to type
Mm.
everything out.
It's I don't know. I call me old man pantyhose king, but I like it when people used to write their name in cursive. I like that. I like it.
I like it.
I don't like it when things change, except for when Sony Panda becomes bigger and bigger. Can I ask you, Sony, if there's like any way you can give us a hint, a little itty bitty bit about what's upcoming for your new like stuff? Is there a clue that you can give us that wouldn't give it away?
Um, okay, because obviously you've asked so nicely. Um, it'll be
Please,
more
please.
it'll be more kind of opaques coming. I will say that. There'll be a couple more
Oh,
opaques coming.
You know,
Yeah.
okay.
Rob, the speaking loves the opaques.
I love the opaques. It's oh yeah,
That
absolutely.
this man loves to color coordinate.
Oh yeah, I know. I love it. I love it. Every time I see it, I'm like, yes. It's just when there's something so aesthetically pleasing, you're like, oh, this soothes my mind. I love that.
See,
Well, hopefully you might be able to have some colors. I might be able to match them up with my kilts and everything. So we'll go with that.
ooh,
Yeah, sounds
kilts.
like a plan.
Luckily, Rob lives in a place where like weather changes. Because if I wore a kilt and opaque tights in Florida, I would probably just like literally like melt from the bottom down, and there would just be like half of my body left, like just torso, and I'd be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you would be the puddle king, not the pantyhose king.
I would be the evaporated king because like you can't even the water can't even stay on the ground long enough here. Yesterday it poured rain within 5 minutes. The sun came out and it was like it had never happened. I was like, woo.
No.
Yeah, it's like it's in the 90s here. It's 90 degrees, but with 100%
Wow.
humidity. So it's like,
Wow.
yeah,
That is insane.
but that makes your tights are great because they are very light and I can wear them out with not having to
Mm.
die. Because I swear,
Well, I'm pleased to know.
anything over 20 is a risky thing. Like It can be, yeah. And I don't even want to go into what can happen. You might need a little, jock itch cream at the end of the day if you don't, if you don't plan things out properly. Yep.
Well, it's like for here up here in Virginia. Now, granted, our summers can be just as hot and nasty, down as it is down
You
south.
said hot and nasty.
Hot and nasty. Oh yeah. When you get that Bermuda high going here, and it's just nothing but just pure wet outside, you don't want to even go out near any all of that.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
There's not humidity in the UK, is there?
Oh, there is. I mean, I can't say we're having a summer at the moment. The past few days, it's like wanting to rain, and it looks like it's about to chuck it down. And we have a drizzle, and then it stops, and then it drizzles, and then it stops. So at the moment, we don't have any heat really. It's just rain. It's just gloom and rain for the next kind of couple of weeks. It's so backwards here. But yeah, we do get humidity, quite bad humidity to be fair.
Oh, see, now I want to go over to the United Kingdom, and I want to go do a pantyhose photo shoot in the moors. That's what I want to do. Just I don't know, it would be cool, right? You could go if you went out, you could trip out to the moors and have some models just wear them in the moors. I mean, it would just look great, right?
Oh, that'd be so nice.
How far away are you from the moors? How long does it take to get there?
I think it really depends, because we'll probably have a few dotted around. It could probably take a couple of hours, driving if you wanted to drive. But if it's somewhere where there's close to an airport, naturally you can obviously take a plane. But
only a couple hours drive. I mean, I live in Florida. It takes 10 hours to drive across the state. It takes 10 hours to go from the base of Florida to get to Georgia. Yeah.
Wow.
So, wait. So am I right in saying, just say if Florida's from here to here, that would
from Jacksonville all the way to the Key West.
The Key, yeah. And that
takes you 10 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous. You guys are you guys don't know, in Europe, they're just I'm going to take the train to another country. And it's in America, we can't do it. Rob, it would take me probably 3 days to drive to you.
Actually, I've driven from Richmond down to Jacksonville in about 12 hours.
But I'm in South Florida.
All right, so yeah, you're in South Florida, so that would be that would probably be almost 2 days drive for me.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. That's how big our country is. Yeah.
Now where I live, I'm maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours from DC. So, but that's depending on traffic, and traffic is horrendous. So usually about an hour and a half trip could easily be 3 to 4 hours sometimes.
Oh, so you got to go do a pantyhose shoot on the moors, but don't go alone, because they have all those the sticky fingers guy that comes out of the moors and kidnaps you in the night. I don't know. I read a story when I was little about some ghosts of the moors.
I was gonna say, what the hell do I need to watch out for?
I was about to say, where did that come from?
I heard it on Clatterford was a show that I watched where Dawn French was in it, and Jennifer Saunders. It's a really great show. I think it was called Jam in Jerusalem, where you guys are from, but over here it's called Clatterford. But it was a great show. But I digest. Okay. So what else is new, Soni? Tell us what's going on with you. I don't want to keep you much longer, but what other good things are you doing right now? How's the podcast going? How are you? How's that working out?
No, so it's going really well. Obviously, we'd love to have you guys on at some point. I love you guys. I'd love to get you guys on.
I'm totally down with it.
I think I will have to discuss it with Rob. I think we're going on, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going on. I'm totally down with it.
Too. I'll let her know. Hey, Soni, we're gonna go on. Yeah, I was basically.
Yay!
Yeah, tell us about how that came about. The origin story.
The whole So basically, obviously Chucks has been on 2 times as well onto my series. And I've always wanted to do a podcast. I just didn't know how to get it started. And I kind of made a mountain out of a molehill in a sense with it. And I was just oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm not too sure. And literally Chucks came about, and Chucks was oh, can I just ask you a question? I'm yeah, sure. And he was would you like to do a podcast with me? And I'm oh shit. I was okay. Oh my God. yeah,
It just
cool. Like, let's
fell
do
right in your
it.
lap.
Yeah, honestly, and same with him, because I think obviously he's really wanted to do something as well. Because he's really like in terms of techie, listens to a lot of different podcasts anyway. So he was like, look, I kind of know the ins and outs. I can obviously help you in a sense. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I think it really works with me and Chuck's, just because like even just generally with like out of podcast wise, we can speak all day all night and have such great conversation, whether it be really deep stuff, really light-hearted, quite controversial, and it's really nice to be able to have that with someone. I'm sure like you guys would have with each other as well. So it was something that kind of just worked and clicked, and we're like, let's just give it a go and see how far we get with it in a sense. So yeah, it's going really well.
Rob's never spoken to me
Nice.
outside of the podcast ever.
No, never.
He just,
Oh really? Oh,
Tony, no.
guys.
No, I'm teasing you. No. She was like really upset. I was like, oh man, I feel it. I was like, I was joking.
Yeah.
I didn't mean.
Because I mean, you guys are really great as it is anyway, as individual people. And I thought, God, I can imagine your guys' conversation.
I'll say this much. I will say Rob is one of the most delightful people because I love to talk some shit. I love talking some shit. Rob's a very good listener, so I will come in and be like, I'm so upset about something, and then he'll go, oh, what is it? And he'll just let me vomit it out,
Yeah.
and then I'm better. Thank you for that, Rob.
No problem. Look, I learned from the best. When she said, keep your mouth shut and be a good listener.
Who said that?
I give my wife all the props.
I was
She
going to
taught
say
me
it'll be the
well.
wifey.
I was like, was that Dolly Parton? Or it feels like that could have.
No, the one and only Suska herself. She said, look, if you sit down and shut up and listen, you might actually learn something.
I'm sorry,
Like
I
what?
still haven't learned a thing yet.
No, it's yeah. So we do have some fun. I do
She's
wish
she's over here laughing at me. She's laughing at me right now.
she can say when she wants to say hi. Tell her come say hi. I've never actually seen her.
Oh,
Like in-
she's watching one of her shows right now now that the storms are finally starting to pass over here.
Crushing.
Oh, she's Candy Crushing. Excuse me.
Candy Crushing.
Crush. Oh, bless.
I used to Candy Crush hard, but that was the 60s, and I am clean and sober, and now I just try to focus day by day. That's not what Candy Crush is.
That's the wrong Candy Crush.
I was like when
I was
Sony
going to
was
say,
like,
oh my God.
when Sony was like, I went wild in college. I was like, I wonder if her wild is the same kind of wild as mine
Probably
was.
not.
No,
Probably not.
Like,
And mine might be so tame in
you're like, I really
comparison.
got loose. I'm like, you almost burnt the dorms down too?
Oh God.
Not on purpose.
No, but honestly, him and I, we have a lot of deep conversations. I mean, talking about everything from, when he has his rants, or if I have something that I got to get off like an idea I got to get off my head, or, or if even if I got a rant, he's there, he'll listen, and then he'll sit there and poke fun at me for the next 3 hours, saying, no, seriously, but but it's on. I mean, we've known each other for years. We talk to each other for a long time, and so a lot of times, so a lot of times, if I have a different idea, I can always bounce it off of him, and whereas most people just sit there and go, oh yeah, Rob, that's great, hey, he was now that idea is shit, and I prefer that kind of honesty versus it's somebody just saying and going, yes, Rob, that's great, Rob.
Yeah.
I get
mean,
that.
in all due fairness, I sometimes call stuff crap. I don't always say shit. I mean, I'm classy, right?
Well, I know you're being classy, but still.
I know I am being classy. Fucking shit, I'm class act. Yes, I am.
You class act. You class act.
But okay, but I will say this: I know that that Rob is actually on vacation right now, so he is. You're in like Parky Land, or it's like I just saw a bunch of like really cool stuff. I can't remember. Parkland.
Well, actually, I'm currently in Ocean City, Maryland. So I'm a little
City.
north of where I usually am.
Nice.
As Sonny already knows, I was at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen.
Did he come out and yell at the table?
He said it's fucking raw.
He's so mean. I don't know why he's so angry. I don't get it.
Well, actually, if you watch his MasterChef series, he's actually not as mean. And if you watch a lot of his other stuff, he's not as mean. his style is meant to best way is kind of motivate you and not sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
But when you watch this MasterChef series, he's a lot more of a mentor
Chilled out.
Yeah.
yeah, he's very well rounded. But the whole setup, when you saw the kitchen, they had the whole blue and red. You had the people in the back with the blue and red bandanas on, and but the food that you usually see made on Hell's Kitchen is
Yeah.
what they actually sell there, and plus so much more. And I'm telling you what,
Wow.
mind-blowingly fantastic. That beef Wellington was
Oh,
perfect. I'm not a scallop. I'm not a seafood lover. But my wife, she had the seared scallops, and oh my God, I hate scallops. I tried one, and I said, I'm getting that next time. It's so
wow.
creamy and delicious.
I've
The
never.
lobster risotto was just mind-blowingly
Mm.
fantastic. It was just the most. I would say I wouldn't say unctuous. It was more.
Did you have a
Um,
foodgasm?
It
I'm a
sounds
foodie.
it.
So I'm having a foodgasm right now. So
Yeah, I was gonna say like that sounds like you had a
Hmm.
foodgasm.
you don't get a belly like this for not being a foodie. So
Foodgasms are I highly encourage foodgasms if you can have them. Like I think some
Mm.
people don't have enough foodgasms. Like
They're missing out.
it's a blessing to have a foodgasm. I mean,
Hmm.
granted, you're going to have to take out a second mortgage to eat there, but this is something that we've been wanting to do for a long, 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 long time.
Yeah.
what did you wear? Did you wear the outfit with the kilt? Is that what you wore to the
Yes, I did. I had on my Pride of Scotland kilt, which is like a deep royal blue with a light purple or violet. Then I had the kilt hose, which are the black the socks, and then the flashes, which are the garters that hold the socks up, and you fold the socks over them, so you just have the tips of the flashes coming out. They matched the tartan that I was wearing. Had on a kind of a plum, almost violet shirt on with a kind of a grayish maroon vest.
I see that. I love that. You know what I wear? Black everywhere. Black because
Do
I don't
you?
have to. Look. I have a closet full of black. My boyfriend's like,
He's the man in black.
he's like, when are you gonna wear color? And I'm like, when it's not like hot out, because my body, like I'm a sweater. Like I can lose
Oh,
10
okay.
pounds
Yeah,
of
yeah.
water weight a day. Like no joke. Like I can
Okay.
fluctuate between 10 pounds of water weight. So
Yeah.
when I basically put on anything that shows color, it just looks like my body starts raining on itself. And then
Okay.
I love people who go, oh my gosh, you're sweaty. Did you notice that you're sweaty? And I'm like, yes, I did. Thank you. That's very helpful. So I wear black. That way you can't see if I'm sweating.
Oh, okay. Get you.
That's it's function over form, but like, yeah, no, I'll sweat up a storm. So, but dark stuff I can wear. Like they put the kilts though, I think that would actually kill somebody in Florida. Kilt would be.
Well, the kilts that I wear, they are generally there's a lighter version of it, like the polyviscose. They're lighter and they are not as heavy. The one I had last on the other night was not as bad. So I mean, what was bad was the socks themselves, the kilt hose. They are very thick,
Yeah,
and
they're like
so
yarn.
so, and we had a storm on a really nasty storm that rolled through DC that night, and we were sitting there going, "Well, there's Hell's Kitchen, like less than a 3 minute walk, and it's storming like crazy." And it came through, and it was just humid, nasty outside, but it cooled everything down, so we were hoping
Mm.
for at least a breeze. We did get a
You
bit of a
don't
breeze
wear
with tools in.
Were you wearing pantyhose with the
Yes,
okay?
yes.
'Cause I was gonna say, like, I don't know if I could do the kilts with no
But the cool thing
under,
was
like under.
reservations were for 10, but we got there at 9 and they seated us.
Yes, and so we had our reservations for 10 p.m. We got there at 9, and they let us stay there inside at the bar and everything. Well, they got our seat in within less than 10 minutes.
Odie do.
Oh
Nice.
yeah,
Do you
oh
know Mr.
yeah.
Ramsey? Do you know him? Are you
No,
buddies? I was gonna say you
no.
should have him on the show. Be good for you.
You know what? I wish I wish he was a good friend of mine because I would definitely bring him on the show. So bring Joe and have Joe bring his mom because my wife's a big fan of his mom. Boston Miss Boston.
I mean, I'll do some research. You know, you never know what's under those white like pants that he wears in the kitchen. He could be.
You never know.
I mean,
True, true.
I
You
mean,
never know.
how much percent of your sales is male, Sony, as of now? Like, what's the men buying?
Oh, geez, it's like literally 95%, I'll probably say,
I
if
believe it.
not slightly higher. So
I
And
think it would be at least 95% male.
yeah.
do you know how? Is there any way for you to figure out? Because I was talking to Robert Safko about this from Shapings. Are you
Oh,
able
love
to,
that guy.
are you able to figure out like when you know for a fact if something is being bought for a man, or because he was talking about how it could be a guy buying it for girls, and I said, well, if they're, you know, what if they're buying like really large sizes? He's like, well, they could be for a really large girl. Is there any way for you to get that information as a somebody who does like because
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
it's like I wonder if you could you put out like maybe like a survey or like say like, hey, this is just for like all my own private marketing like research. I mean, I feel like if somebody asked me that, I wouldn't feel bad about responding it. But then again, you know, I do a podcast where I wear, you know, pantyhose, and you know, I'm maybe not the average wearer, but I wonder what the audience thinks about that. Would you guys be opposed to answering like if somebody like Sony wanted to know just for marketing, just for her own marketing purposes, like what the actual male wearing contingent is? Like,
No, I would answer. I would definitely answer that survey. Yes.
Mhm. Yes.
Straight up.
And so would that be something you would do, Sony? Would that be something you'd be open to? Like,
Yeah, no, definitely. It is something because I'm trying to do a fair bit more about that now. Like for instance, I've kind of like discontinued the Tangle tights, but I'm bringing something else in its place instead. But even then, I put a bit of market research out there to be like, oh, hey guys, can you just help? Or it's like, oh, do you prefer this or this with fishnets? And it was actually really nice. I got a lot of feedback, and even I put like a little, you know, when you put like the little Q&A box at the end to be like, hit me up with your suggestions. Some that were relevant were really, really helpful. So it is, yeah, I'm definitely down for doing something like that and sort of seeing, because I'll be able to gauge it a lot better rather than assuming, because most of the time you can kind of tell when orders come in, and plus people obviously tend to respond to be like, oh, by the way, I'm order number blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm like gifting my wife, so could you leave this message? Or yeah, it's for myself, I can't wait to review. So there is that element. But yeah, no, I'd be more than down to do a poll. That'd be pretty cool, actually.
let's we can see if we can facilitate that. Then speaking of, before we let you guys go, before we call it a day, I would like to make a shout out to a couple of this week's so Rob, as you are, I don't know if you know this, Sony, but Rob and I have done what we're trying to do is sort of like a weekly challenge to our listeners to have them, we challenge them to take either a picture of themselves wearing and showing their face inside, or if they want to go for the gusto, a picture of themselves wearing, showing their face outside. And
oh yeah, I think I've seen you stop. Yeah,
we have this week's Rob?
Oh no, I was clearing my throat.
Oh, really? That was a very good clearing. I'm going to I was like, that sounded like words, but I'm going to do a shout out to he is known as Hose Metalhead, is going to be receiving the big Grand Poobah reward this week, which I believe is Kara, the Kara hoser, correct?
Yes, the Kara stripe hosiery on the tuxedo stripe. I was supposed to get them out this week, but unfortunately that didn't happen because a lot of other things happened. So once I get back from vacation, I will definitely mail those off to our winner, and I'm very happy that he's our big winner today.
And you know what? I think that our next winner is going to be somebody who's going to win a pair of Sonys. I think that's what I'll do. Ooh, I think I'm going to go.
That'd be amazing.
What's your most popular, do you think the most popular one that is bought by what you are guessing would be male wearers? What's the number one, like, what's your number one most popular?
Number one is definitely the seamless collection.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
have to say. Yeah,
seamless it is.
That's beautiful. It's a beautiful collection.
We're gonna do seamless, and we'll just go ahead and get it in like the big size. because, you know, you can't go. I
Guys.
mean, you can always go. You can always like, you know, just hike it up a little higher. I guess if you don't, if you're a little, if you're a little short. I mean, you could hike it up all the way up to your shoulders and just like, if I mean, that would be pretty short, but that would, you know, be kind of fun at least.
Well, do you know what? Let me say something, right? So it's actually quite funny because I did like a short video on it. So one of my buyers, Pauline, absolutely love that woman. And she was like, "Oh, look, I've just want you to try something if you're not opposed to it." I was like, "Go on, hit me with it." So she ordered like the large, extra large, and was like, "Oh, would you mind just wearing them and styling them before you send them out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, cool." Honest to God, I tried the large, extra large. It fit me like a dream. It didn't bag off or anything because there's so much
Really?
stretch. Yeah, honestly, there's so much stretch in them. It actually fit me quite well. If anything, like because I tried it in the raspberry, so it just looked like a deeper shade of raspberry rather than quite sheer. So it
Ah,
looked like instead of a 15, it probably looked like a 20, maybe 30 on me. But
nice.
and I did the same again with like the extra extra large. Yeah, okay, the band was a little bit bigger, but it still was really, really quite nicely fitting. So yeah, there's a lot of stretch in these things, guys.
Yeah.
It holds a lot of volume. Absolutely.
So yeah, that's what I think next week's. So we're encouraging everybody who is listening. If you are like, we suggest like if you're somebody who is, let's say, posting pictures of yourself on Instagram, but you're out and about, but you're putting that little like, you know, emoji over your face. We say, why hide? You've taken the big steps. Like, let's see your face. Let's get to know each other. Because you know the cool part about it is that we're getting to know these people very well. And another person that is now taking pictures wearing is Shiny Tights Guy. We got to do a shout out to Shiny Tights Guy, who is our
Big
runner-up.
shout out to him. Yes.
And
Yes.
you know, it's cool. We get to know these people now. We're getting to know faces. It's so nice.
Yeah, that actually is really nice. It's a really nice thing you guys are doing there, to be fair. And naturally, it would encourage a lot of people to, I wouldn't say get on the trend in a sense, but it is just to get out there and actually just be like, yeah, I'm comfortable enough to do it. So that's really nice, you know.
I mean, we try, right? I mean, I think we try,
Oh
Rob.
yeah, we definitely try. We try to get the word out, but if
Rob's so
if
much
anything,
nicer than I am and so much more
but the thing is, yes, I know, but
no, you have no idea. Like people come on the podcast that have like never like they
No.
wouldn't talk to me. They're like
no,
mad
but
interested.
seriously, no, but seriously, we want to be able to see our listeners. We want to be able to hear from our listeners. We like to hear
Yeah.
what their ideas are, and we encourage that. And same thing with our Patreon subscribers. You know, we hear from y'all. We want to hear, and we want to be able to see y'all. We want to, it's like take the big step. You know, it's not as bad as people think it is.
We will be your support. Pantyhose.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah,
That's so
no, that was
cringe.